Kayode Damali, professional speaker, inspiring entrepreneur, and today he's our guest. This is Alex and the Message. Hello everyone, welcome today to Alex and the Message. With me I have a very interesting guest for us. Can I please welcome Kayode Damali? How are you doing today, Kayode?
Yo, I'm excited, man. I'm good, man. How you doing?
Very good, good to be here. So, for those who don't know, Kayode Damali is a motivational speaker. We first met, when did we first met, Kayode? Would have been a while ago
when
now.
You started uni.
When I started uni. When was that?
MMU.
2014?
Something like that.
2014, back in the MMU Cheshire campus in Crewe. Kayode was holding events as he does, and he smashed it, so it's great to have him back on the podcast. So, let's start right from the beginning, Kayode. Mm-hmm. Born in Charleston, is that right, Charleston, Surrey?
Yeah, I'm actually born, you know what, I'm a Catford, South London boy, you know, I was just born, I happened to be born in Carshalton in Surrey. Like, my mum, basically, the story of it is that,
go for it.
At the time, in 1992, the only place, my mum wanted to have a water birth. I was her firstborn, and she wanted to have a water birth, and that was the only hospital at the time close to South London that could, have a water.
All right, I'm with you. Yeah.
So, but I'm a Catford boy. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm born Carshalton, sorry, but I'm not. I didn't grow up there. I was literally born there, straight back to Catford. Do you get what I mean? I was there for a minute.
Just like a magnet straight to Catford.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm a Catford boy, so yeah.
I'm with you. So you said you were the firstborn, yeah?
I'm the firstborn out of four.
Yeah. Out of four, yeah. So how many brothers and sisters?
I've got 2 sisters and a brother.
Oh yeah. And what's it like to be the oldest?
I think being the oldest sibling is I think just generally you being the oldest sibling kind of sets you up for life in a sense that you have to lead from the get-go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially if you're close in age. So I was always in a position whereby, because I am the oldest of 4, I always had to be aware of how I'm carrying myself or be aware of how I am.
Yeah, because they're going to pick up on the examples.
Yeah. So I think just being the oldest sibling does have that advantage, as well as disadvantages, of course. But
name just one of the disadvantages then.
It's that thing again. So it's like I'm always aware of the image.
So maybe too aware.
Yeah. So it's like especially growing up in South London, it's like it's that added pressure. It's like I have to feel, you got to carry yourself in a certain, you're the oldest, like my brother can't look up to me and think you're a punk, you know what I mean? So it's like, so you always have to carry yourself in that way. So I guess it ebbs and flows. It's definitely got its pros and cons.
Alright, nice one. So talk about being the oldest, having sort of responsibility. Tell me a bit about 2003, when Kayode would have started Forest Hill.
Jeez, you've done your research!
I've done my research!
Jeez, I was thinking, no, where are you going with 2003? And I was thinking, I was banging out Fever 2003. So I went to, the shouts out Forest Hill and Forest Hill Boys School.
Shout them out, yeah.
And I was honestly like, Forest Hill. Yeah, man, so it was a public school in South London. In the Lewisham Borough, so I went in Blue Borough. We used to call it Blue Borough.
Blue Borough, there you go. It was one of the guys listening, I swear they'll be on it. Do you know what I mean?
Blue Borough. So it's us, and at the time, it was St Joseph's. They were the only boys' schools in the borough, and I went to Forest Hill, and man, sick. Honestly, man, like people always knock it saying, "Oh, you went to all boys' school," but no, our school was showered. Do you know what I mean? Our school was sick. So.
Oh, okay, that's alright. That's alright. So that was still 2008. How did GCSEs go? Was they successful in the middle?
Yeah, I did good in my GCSEs. To be fair, I think that I got what I get. I know it's all changed now. They got the number system from 9 being an A star to 1 being a U. But at the time when I was doing my GCSEs, it was the A star to U. So I've got 2 A's, 6 B's, and 1 C. So it's okay. It wasn't the greatest. I've worked with young people now. I was working with a girl last summer. She got all A stars. I was like, how
how's that possible?
Who are you? You know what I mean? So I did okay in my GCSEs. 2 A's, 6 B's, and 1 C.
All right, so that would have been a catalyst then for you move to Shooters Hill post 16 campus.
Shooters Hill, yeah.
Now, I'm going to be honest, when I was doing my research, Shooters Hill, I was like, wow.
I've been in South London in the Shooters Hill.
The connotations are going crazy. Yeah, so tell me a bit about that.
So Shooters Hill, I'm sure someone could correct me if I'm wrong, but the history of Shooters Hill was a massive road coming from, it was how, if you go 100 of years, so it's a main road for people to get from the coast, like Dover, or somewhere on the coast.
All right.
It's a long road to get to this middle of London.
Right.
So it's a very long road.
Right,
So that was the history to get across. I'm doing hand movements so I can see me, you know.
For all the listeners, it's like signalling traffic in here.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, so it's like, it's a long road. I think that was the history of it. But Shooters Hill, I always knew Shooters Hill when I used to play football as well.
Okay.
On Shooters Hill, there's something called the marathon grounds. It's the biggest, when you're playing 7-a-side, it's like the biggest sort of 7-a-side, massive field with loads of different pitches. Like every year they had a massive tournament. So I always knew Shooters Hill growing up. We used to go to marathon grounds to take part in football tournaments. We won, of course. Hilly Fields, shout out to Hilly Fields.
Hilly Fields, yeah.
And so I went to Shooters Hill post-16 campus. And the reason I picked to go to that college, because it wasn't in Blueborough, it wasn't in Lewisham Borough. All my friends went to Christ the King. Like everyone who's listening from Lewisham knows what I'm talking about. They went, you go Christ the King, or you go maybe Lewisham College, or you go Bromley College, or you stay on our sixth form. It was called Hillside.
All right.
But I went to Shooters Hill, which was not in Lewisham Borough at all. So it's really the first time I was really going outside of Blueborough.
Now that's quite interesting because most people, when they get to that age where you're thinking, okay, I'm going to do A-levels, a big influence is where your mates are.
Oh yeah, everyone went Christ. Literally, I don't know if it's the same now, but everyone, literally everyone from NG went Christ. That was it. And it was funny because for me to get to Shooters Hill, before I wasn't driving in my first year of college, so I used to get the bus, the 89.
Okay.
And it's the same bus you get on for Christ, but then they get on first and I'll continue going on.
Oh, okay. So they still see.
Yeah, I still see them. It's just funny, man. But it's like, all my brethren, they'll go to Christ and I'll stay on the bus to go to Shooters Hill, which is in Woolwich, which is in Greenwich Borough. And the reason why I picked to go to that college is because at the time I was really passionate about wanting to do human biology.
Okay.
And most places at the time only did biology, but I specifically wanted to do human biology for A-level. And I think it was either Shooters Hill or SFX, which is in Clapham, or somewhere around Clapham, which did it. And when I went there for the open day with my mum, I just thought, I'd go to campus and I went there.
So what sparked your interest in pursuing that?
In human biology.
That's right, yeah.
Because at this time when I was 16, of course, finishing my GCSEs, I was very passionate about football.
Okay.
And who was I playing for at the time? I think the standard I was at this time was county level.
Okay.
No, we never had a year 11 football team at Forest Hill. We had a mad scrap in September with some school in Peckham. So then they scrapped our whole school team for that one move in September.
Alright.
So my football career in year 11 was just playing semi-pro for my club team, district and county. And I was like, right, I still wanted to become a pro. So I thought, what A-levels, what subjects can I pick still surrounded with football, still get me in the zone?
Yeah.
So I picked human biology, physical education being PE and psychology, as well as philosophy. So I thought, that's quite good for me to stay within football. So that's why I picked those. And at this time, it was like Shooters Hill, which was only one of the real options that did it.
Yeah. All right, makes sense. Sorted. And now here we go. Here's where, from what I've seen from your material online, you said you had to search through clearing to get a place. Is that right?
Oh, well, that's for uni. That was for uni. So unfortunately, I didn't do that well at Shooters Hill.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, I didn't really do well. I don't want to say I failed because I think that the grades I got, some people might have really, really appreciated those. So I'm very, very aware of the language I used around that.
The older brother, yeah.
Yeah, before I used to say that, I failed college. No, I didn't fail. I got D's and E's and maybe a C somewhere and a U in there somewhere. But for some people, they might have really wanted a C might have been good for them.
It's all about perspective.
Yeah, it's all about perspectives. But I never did enough through UCAS to get the entry requirements for my top 5. I picked Brunel. I picked universities all around the southeast of England. So Brunel being in North London. I think I picked Portsmouth. I wanted to put down Greenwich, but my mum didn't let me. She said, no, you're not going Greenwich Uni. That's too close to home.
Yeah.
But initially, I picked unis, in and around London-ish.
Yeah. And, so quite close to where you were.
Yeah. I wanted to do sports science. But of course, when it came to A-level results, I never got the grades. So I never got I can't remember how many UCAS points it was, but I was well below. You know what I'm saying? You needed A's and B's. I got C's, D's, E's, and U's. So
Now this is where, for me, this story, you can tell the traits of a motivational speaker coming through now, because you mentioned before that even though you're going through clearing, it was difficult. You got a spot at Manchester Met, starting there in 2010, and for the listeners, I just want this to be very, very clear. Here's a list of what Kayode Damali did at university. Just a quick list. The African Caribbean Society Treasurer, Camp America Uni Brand Manager, the Course Rep, the MMU Cheshire Rep, the NUS Delegate, Student Union Shop Assistant, Vice President MMU, Cheshire Sports Societies, Yeah, and that's just a few things.
Yeah,
right?
you can roll it out like a scroll. Like I wanted it to be like a Dead Sea Scroll.
It could be an endless scroll, I'm telling you. So how do you go from someone who may have got, results that from their perspective they wouldn't want, to someone who's absolutely smashed it at uni?
Because I had a very, very difficult time at college in the sense of getting in trouble. And I got in a lot of trouble at college. And part of the reason I never did well at college is because I was spending more time on road than studying.
All right.
So when I had to go through clearing, the only place that accepted me was Manchester Met. And I thought I was going to Manchester. But then, like everyone, but then I ended up in Crewe. So for the first semester, the first term, I was vexed. You can ask anyone who saw me the first SU night. I had my hood up, the shrink pulled tight, no one chatted to me. I almost had a beef with someone outside for dissing Catford because he was from Brixton. Like that was my mindset, you know what I mean? Like, but then I realised that I really wanted to change who I was. I really wanted to become a different person.
Okay.
So I thought the best way for me to do that is to literally immerse myself and do everything. Like it was a running joke.
Yeah.
Like people would see me everywhere on campus.
And when he says everywhere, guys, he means fucking everywhere.
I'd have my skates. Did I have my skates? Yeah, I had my skates initially. Like I was just
tell people about your skates. Tell them.
Yeah, so what was it? So like, I came back, I did Camp America in 2012, shouts out to Camp Bacana, shouts out to my people in New Jersey, that camp, they were sick. And when I came back from the States to the UK, that summer which I was gone, London became big for skating. I came back on a plane and people were still on wheels, you know what I'm saying? So it's like...
I've never seen that, that's mad. Is that just the London? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's a London, I think it's a London, it was big, honestly, everyone was skating.
Okay.
And so, even before that, to be fair, but then I was like, right, I need to get myself a pair of skates. And I knew that no one in this crew was skating, so I knew that if I learned how to skate for the rest of that summer, when I came back to crew in September, if I was skating, that could make me stand out. I was all about how can I stand out. Yeah. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be that person, stand out in a good way. Yeah. So I came to uni on skates. I was like, the freshers were like, yo, who's that guy? You know what I'm saying? And they helped me with the girls as well. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, that guy on the skates. So it's like, that's how I got my skates.
So let's talk about that since you mentioned it. So the girls at uni. So would you say you're a bit of a ladies' man, or would you say you were just doing all right? How would you describe yourself in that sense?
To be fair, at uni, in my defence, anything else going to get onto me, I came from a heartbreak just before I started uni in 2010.
Oh shit! Okay.
I was hurt. You know what I'm saying? August 2010, I was hurt. So when I came to that September and that freshers throughout my whole time at uni, you can excuse me for wanting to do what I did. Do you know what I mean?
Obviously, it's fresh as your first time at uni. People going through that in September will understand, I think. Do you know what I mean? It's just a lot of freedom when you get to university in that sense. Everyone's up for it, so no one can blame you. Do you know? Especially if you're on skates and you're pretty much drawn to it. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. So yeah, I had fun at uni. I definitely had my fun at uni.
Excellent. And so you managed to graduate with a first class degree.
Yeah.
That work ethic, because I recently got a first class degree.
Oh, you got one as well?
Yeah, you got one as well.
Feeling, innit?
Oh, it's a brilliant feeling. And I didn't do very well as well from my perspective at A level. And this is something that we're going to have particularly very much in common. The work ethic it takes in the final year to get the results you want. How would you explain how much work you had to put in?
You see, for me now in my final year, not only was it peak in the sense I had to do the work, but remember what you said earlier, I was doing everything at uni. Yeah. So it's and at the same time, me doing my final year dissertation, I was also running in the campaign in the elections to become vice president. Yeah. So there's pictures of me in 2012, literally I used to run on 0 hours sleep because for me, that week of campaigning for the elections, I was also writing my dissertation, and in the elections, who you can get to first to get the votes. So I'll be going ham on campus, getting votes, midnight, working dissertation until 5 a.m, back on campus from 5 because you have to secure the table. So it's non-stop grinding. I look back at that and think to myself, I want to get some of that grind back. Yeah. I think that I'm not saying I'm super successful now, but the more successful you become, the more likely you are to become complacent. Definitely. Because they always say that the wolf climbing the hill is always hungrier than the wolf on top of the hill.
Make sure you listen to that, people. Say that again, Kayode. That is important.
So they say that the wolf climbing the hill is always going to be hungrier than the wolf that's on top of the hill.
There you go.
So at the time, I was climbing that hill, I was hungry. But now I'm not at the top of the hill, I don't want people to think that I've made it, but because I was comfortable, you kind of slack. But so I look back at my 2012, 2013 kind of thinking, you were sick, that grind was important. Yeah. So going back to your question, yes, definitely you have to have a relentless, work ethic for it. I mean, But at the same time, I really enjoyed like my dissertation. I really enjoyed it, so I didn't feel like work. I loved uni.
What was it about the dissertation?
So for my dissertation, I studied the effects that motivational videos have on our self-efficacy, which is another word for your self-confidence and your muscular endurance performance. So essentially your performance doing exercise.
Okay.
So yes, there's something I was very passionate about. So I think that it made it easier for me to do work at uni. And as well as my course, you know, like shouts out to Tony Hare, you know, she was my program leader, and shouts out to all the staff, Nick Lund, Kathy, all of them, Lisa, all of them, because they really made my course something really enjoyable. So I love my course. So it's never a case of, you know, this is me almost sending a shade at students. If you're finding that you're missing lectures just for the sake of it, you have to really question why you're there. You know, I don't think I missed one lecture. You know, I mean, I remember missing one, I think, in my first year when I was trying to get, you know, find my waters. Like, me and my brethren was in Leicester the night before. I was like, am I going to make it back to school? No, in fact, I even did go to a lecture. In fact, yeah, that's it. We went to a night out in like Leicester or Northampton or something. We got a coach back. We got back to crew at like 8 or 9 a.m. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the lecture was at 9. And I still went to a lecture, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm rocking on the chair. The lecturer's like, how are you alright? You know, I think I tumbled once, you know what I'm saying, onto the floor. What? But my point is, what I'm trying to say is that, and then my lecturers made it such an enjoyable experience for me. I don't think I missed one. Well, I'm struggling to think. And, you know, and that was part of it. You know, I loved my course. So, and that helped me to succeed because I never really felt like it was a chore. I enjoyed going to lectures. I enjoyed my shouts out to the people in my PSC class. I enjoyed my people. I enjoyed the course. I enjoyed the essays. So yes, I made it easy for me to enjoy uni.
Good. I've got to admit that's something that's particularly surprising, what you said there. Students who aren't turning up regularly, what's the point in being there?
Yes, like my brethren Porridge, you know, I'm doing lots of shouts out, you know, but my brethren Porridge, he had a quote whereby he said that, like, he's not a motivational speaker or nothing, but he's a good guy.
Here we go.
Everybody knows Porridge, he's a good guy. He goes something along the lines of, see every note you take in lecture as 20p extra to your salary at the end of it. So every single note, see, as an extra 20p going to your salary at the end of it. Yeah. So if you're leaving each lecture with pages and pages of notes, that's an extra £5 to your salary.
There you go.
You do that 5 times a day, that's your £25. You do that 5 times a week, that's your extra 5 by 25, £125 a week. Do you know what I'm saying? So it adds up. I see each note as me adding commas or digits to my salary.
Yeah.
So that's why I had to turn up, man. Shouts out to Porridge for that.
Completely different mentality from the guy who says, fuck it, I want to stay at home. Do you know what I mean?
No, man. You know, especially in first year, people be like, first year don't count. No, first year count. I needed my first year, man, because I had to catch up. I had to catch up from everyone because I came through clearing, so I needed my first year, man. Yeah. First year counts. It's what you get out of it. Yes, it might not count in the academic sense on paper, but you know, the knowledge, that counts. Yeah. The experiences count. The relationships building with lecturers counts. All of that counts.
I've got to say for freshers, if you are listening to this, that's something I highly suggest you do, is make these relationships with lecturers. That means being there on time. It means treating them with respect and just showing interest for what you signed up for. Very important for first year. So you said that was quite a big thing in the first year. Moving on to second year, so what was the transition like from, okay, so now academically it may not count towards your final degree, but in second year, were there any changes there?
So because I had a running start into my second year in the sense that I worked hard in my first year. So anyone with that mentality, first year don't count, you're starting from, I'm 100 yards in front of you. You're starting from 0. Yeah. Because you flopped your first year because you went out all the time. Nothing wrong going out all the time. I went out all the time. However, I still worked hard academically. So going into my second year, I hit the ball rolling straight away, whereas some people still trying to push it to get going. So my balls already had momentum. So I think just building that momentum. So my second year, again, enjoyed it, man. Enjoyed it.
Good stuff. And then for those who haven't seen it, I'm going to put a link in the description below to go see Kayode's graduation speech.
Yeah, man.
Let's talk about that, because that was brilliant.
But you know what? People don't understand, like, it was sick, but you know, people don't understand why it was sick. Only a handful of people really know why it's sick.
Well, everyone listen up, here we go.
Because my term in vice president finished in July of 2014, so a few weeks before I was going to do that graduation speech.
Right.
Now, MU's probably been around for, I don't know how many years, but every year up until 2014, the Vice Chancellor writes a speech, gives it to you to read it.
Okay.
On the stage.
So it's not like the student can write it themselves, no.
However, Kayode Damali, for the first time in MMU history, took the paper onto the stage and thought, fuck it, I'm going to do my own thing. So the reason I was sick because I'm in front of 4,000 people, plus live streams to how many thousand watch it online, defying what the guys are doing behind me, and do my spoken words graduation speech in the back of my mind, knowing that at any moment they might shut off the mic, say Kayode, stick to the script. I just, you know, and the reason that's ticking because now, because of what I did there, I was supposed to do 2 graduation speeches, that one in the morning and another one in the afternoon.
Right.
Because I defied the system, they kicked me out, so I was banned from the second graduation.
Wow.
So I wasn't allowed to. But then there was a massive debate amongst the staff and governors. I created like a little movement because they said, wait, so all this time the students were being censored on what to say at the graduation. So all this time they couldn't do, all this time we thought that was their speech. So I really like opened a can of worms, you know what I mean? Because
sometimes you've got to do it.
Yeah, you know so again, I look at my 2014 Kayode and think, you know, you were the man. As if you went in front of 4,000 people and just thought, fuck it, here's the speech and just do your own thing. Like,
I'll tell you what, guys, it wasn't like it was bad at all, it was excellent. You know what I mean? Go pause this video now, I'll leave the link, go watch it, it was brilliant. Excellent. But that pretty much sums up a lot of what Kayode's about, do you know what I mean? Just doing his own thing and making changes, as you said, opening a can of worms, but interesting. So, you've just graduated, you probably moved back home, or you've just, you know, gone to pack up your stuff to move back home. What thoughts are going through your head then?
Ironic, I didn't, you know, because remember what I said, in my final year, I said I ran in the election, but I actually became successful and was elected vice president of the university.
Oh, sick.
So again, my mindset was that I made my decision in my freshers that in 3 years' time, I'm going to be the vice president and governor of this university. Right. You know, shouts out to Rob, he was president at the time of my first year. He kind of got the idea in my head that, right, this is what I want to do. Yeah. So you know when you say you're campaigning for a week? My campaign was 3 years. I had a 3-year plan. You don't think listen, my campaign started in 2010. Do you know what I mean? I was elected in 2013. That's why I had to win, because I've been campaigning for 3 years. So I had it in my head that as soon as I graduate, I'm not going to struggle. Now, unfortunately, a lot of students who graduate struggle when they graduate.
I've seen that myself, yeah. It's not good, but they need to have a plan.
But for me, like, I had that plan. So from March, I was elected. So as soon as I finished in July of 2013, I was vice president. So I walked straight into my full-time role.
There you go.
So
no stress whatsoever.
No, I had it planned.
That's the key word there, guys. He's planned. John, for any freshers against that, this is like heavily directed towards freshers right now. But for any freshers there, have some idea of what you're going to do over your 3 years. Make an impact. If you want to go all out like Kayode did, by all means, try it. But I doubt there's many people that have to keep up with him. So, you're governor right now. The next one I've got here on my notes is Cheshire Ents. Is that something saying that right?
Yeah.
Cheshire Ents. So let's talk about that. Managing director. And in that role, you were sort of working with nightclubs and connecting landlords to tenants. Away you go.
Yeah, so, oh man, I feel like people think I'm very defiant here, man, because the whole reason I stopped... Oh, go on, what are you going to say?
I'm telling you now, guys, this guy isn't defiant. It's people who sort of do their own thing, that if you look in the big industries, you know, you've got Steve Jobs, you've got Jeff Bezos, these are the people who are defining how we live today. So, there's nothing wrong to have a little bit of rebellion about you.
Okay, I feel better now.
There you go.
Compare me to Jeff Bezos, you know. But yeah, so what happened is that when I finished my term in office in 2014... similar kind of thing is like I never ran. You know, you can be in office for 2 years. I never ran for the second year. So in the March when it was the elections again, I knew when it came to the July that right, I'm going to be out of office. You know, what's my next move? And in that year of me being vice president, I became aware of entrepreneurism and business.
Okay, where from?
The first way I found out is that in my final year, in between me finishing my final assignment and becoming vice president, and say for example I finished my final assignment on June 1st, 2013.
That memory, go on.
I then became vice president on July 1st of 2013. So that's a month period. So I had a month to, I don't want to say kill, because I don't think you should kill time, to use it wisely. But I had a month whereby I could do something. Yeah. And at the time, MMU ran these things on the Manchester campus called something like Entrepreneur Week or something along the lines. Yeah, something along the lines. And I went there and I was like, raw. Like before that, I never realised becoming a business person or entrepreneur was even an option. So that really opened my eyes, that week course, whatever it was back then. So over that time period of me being vice president, in my head I'm thinking, right, I really want to become an entrepreneur. I really wanted to try this business thing out.
Yeah.
And so that's why, so when I finished my term in office in July 1st, 2014, I decided that, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to try and set something up. I'm going to try and do something.
Okay.
And what I knew best at the time was events. Because for me being vice president, I was doing events for students, whether it's hosting shows, whether it's whatever, that's what I knew.
Yeah.
And the person who was really the plug for running the events in Crewe left. So I thought, I've got, everyone on campus knows me. Like, I've got a massive sort of, not following, I've got a massive network. Yeah, that's a better word, network. I'm going to use this network and put on events for them. And the reason we was alluding to the fact that it was defiant, because everyone in the Students' Union, hated me for it. And even some of the students, to be fair, what was some of the rumours? I'm sure you probably heard rumours about me, man. Like the rumours I used to hear about me, like, Kayode, he was vice president, just then, do events for students, whatever. Like, just lots of BS, you know what I mean? So, I decided, right, I'm going to do these events, and I did the events for 4 years?
Quite successfully as well, yeah.
About 4 years.
As we mentioned on the way here, up to now, you were doing it all the way up to sort of the last couple of years. Was it 8 years in total doing that?
So, of course, my first freshers was in 2010.
Oh, I see, yeah.
So, and then the last freshers up until now is 2017. So that's 8 years worth of freshers, which I've been involved in some capacity.
Yeah.
Running, I probably ran, so I'm looking at my fingers in the maths here. So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 5 years worth of freshers. Well, 2013 freshers, I did it in the capacity as vice president. Then the other 4, I did it on the capacity of myself within Cheshire Ends.
So for people who are maybe thinking about doing that, because this is going to be heard by, I'm guessing, quite a lot of university students and that who are maybe the entrepreneurial type, how did you go about setting up those networks to arrange that organisation?
What I did was that person who I mentioned before, who was the plug and then left. Yeah. I remember just before I finished my term in office, he, shouts out to Richie. He was living in Thailand. He was living in Thailand. He basically moved to Thailand to do his DJing and do some house and stuff over there. So he very seldom came back to the UK. So I always had a good relationship with him throughout when I was a student and when I was in office. So when he came back to the UK, I said to him, look, Richie, right, you're only here for a week. I'm coming to your house and I want to know everything possible about running events.
Relentless.
Yeah, it's like, just let me come round, give me an hour of your time. I want to know everything. So I drove to his house, came and he just, he showed me the ropes. He said, like, this is how you do X, Y, Z, da-da-da-da-da-da.
So you went out and you found that mentor who could give you that guidance.
Yeah, because, he was a person who, my first sort of input into entrepreneurism, we had a quote whereby success leaves clues. We used to say that if you want to be a good footballer, you'll learn from Lionel Messi. If you want to be a good singer, you'll learn from Beyonce.
Makes sense.
And if you want to be good looking, you'll learn from Kayode.
Wow.
So that was a massive quote for me at the time. Yeah. So I was like, right, he was doing events very successfully, success leaves clues, so I'm gonna ask him to, show me the ropes. So that first freshers, which would have been your freshers in September 2014, we did that together in partnership. Yeah. And then he left, and then I just took it from there.
Excellent, good stuff there. So, my notes take me to a team leader at the National Citizen Service from 2016 to present. Is that about right?
So that's just, so in between me doing entrepreneurism, because I used to run on the uni calendar, so my events used to run between September and June. Yeah. I used to run events for students, and the same with the houses I was doing, that was from, again, September to June. So I had my summers free. So going back as far as, 2011, I've always worked with young people in the summer. Whether that was in South London at the time. I remember I set up my first youth club in 2010 actually.
Oh, you set it up yourself?
Yeah, working with the council.
Oh, excellent.
And in 2011, I was working in South London as well. 2012, I went to New Jersey doing Camp America. So I've always, in the summers, worked with young people. So in 2016, and again, I got my summers free. I was like, right, how can I just bring a bit more income before my year starts again in September? And so, so I joined up with NCS, I was a team leader for NCS, and yeah, that was sick, man. So every summer since then, I've kind of worked with young people in some capacity. It's only like a 4-week program or something.
Oh, so yeah, but you're still keeping busy. That's the point.
Yeah, man. Yes. I always say, this. I always say this will be my last team. I'm not going to do it anymore. And I always end up doing it, man. I always get dragged back in. Like,
he's a kind guy. What can I say? Listeners, he's a kind guy. And then 2016 motivational speaker. So you've probably done speaking clearly before that, and definitely motivational. But here it says 2016 started.
Yeah, the reason I said 2016 started is because that was the first time where I set myself up as a speaker.
Okay, so
before that, I never had a website, never had a business card. People just hollered me just because they knew me. But in 2016, that's when I thought to myself, let me actually do this properly now. Did my website myself, locked myself in my room for 3 days and thought, let me bang out this website. Got my business cards, etc. And it was the first time whereby I actually got paid in the sense that just for speaking, whereas before I would have done it in the capacity I was in.
Yeah.
But so that's why I say 2016. But at the same time, I'm not really doing myself justice because I've been speaking since. I've been shutting down stages since since I was 16.
That's what I thought. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't seem right to say from 2016. But
at the same time, I don't want to say I've been doing it from 2008 because it's like. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, it's a weird one.
We'll say officially 2016.
Yeah, so I say officially, but even before that, I was
killing it way before.
Yeah, I was doing it way before then.
And so, motivational speaker. So obviously, outside that, you probably picked up some influencers who were motivational speakers. Are there any in particular that you'd like to talk about now?
Yes, so my main influence for motivational speaking was Eric Thomas.
Eric Thomas.
First heard his video. When you want to succeed as bad you want to breathe, and that's what I based my dissertation around. So I did my dissertation around Eric Thomas, and I was fortunate to have met him in 2013. As soon as I did it, and I got published as well with that same dissertation. And he didn't even. I did not say. I actually hit up Eric saying, Eric, I used your video in my dissertation. I based my whole dissertation around your video.
What did he say?
And he didn't even give me a thank you.
Oh, Jesus.
But I still got part. It was sick though, man. So I was looking at motivational videos at the time in 2012 when I really started my project. That was the only big one at the time. I'm sure you got hundreds now, but at the time that was the main one where everyone was getting gas on. So I was using that as one of my is it independent or dependent variables? I can't even remember now. But I used it as one of my variables, and other things I was using as controls. So he was my main influence. Him and Les Brown when I was
Brown. Yeah, I remember Les Brown.
Yeah, so I was in what? Les, see. I was in my second year, and even then I realised that I really needed to not really listen to what other people were listening to.
Okay, this is important. So exactly what do you mean by that?
So I mean, like, when I'm working on my essays, I didn't really want to listen to, I'm a big fan of UK rap, UK grime. Funky House is dying out then, but I was a big fan of funky. But that wasn't really getting me in the right mindset. And I can't remember how I came across his video. I really can't. I mean, because Facebook wasn't even necessarily big at the time for people to share stuff. But I must have stumbled upon it in 2011 at some point. And I was like, right, from now on, I'm only going to listen to motivational videos when I'm going to be working. And at the time, the big two I used to listen to was Les Brown and Eric Thomas. Yeah. And then, so when it came to my dissertation, at the time, I was only going to do something about exercise and pregnancy. Handed in my proposal, went to America, came back, they said, that's dead, rethink something else. So the reason I did motivational videos as part of my dissertation is because that was what I was passionate about at the time. And so like I said, that's why I didn't really feel my dissertation was work, because it's something I really, really enjoyed doing. So 8,000 words was light work. You know what I mean? So they were the main two who I was listening to at the time.
So what you basically did was change some of the environment, but consciously. You were saying that the sort of the grime music and that wasn't what was a catalyst for doing more work, so you decided, right, change it, do you know what I mean?
There's nothing wrong with it. I love the music, but that was just getting me gas, not really, but just to get you got, for me, I had to be in a different mindset.
Yeah, and, absolutely.
I don't even like using the term mindset really too tough either, because mindset means your mind is set in one way, but I believe it's got to be fluid. Your mind can't be set, your mind's got to be, sometimes it's got to be in that bubbly mood, and sometimes it doesn't. It's got to be quite fluid. So I don't like to say mindset, mind fluid, if that can catch on.
Mind fluid. All right. Hashtag mind fluid.
Hashtag mind fluid. But so I had to really change, help my mind to be fluid for the capacity which I was in at that time.
All right, nice one. Interesting stuff, man. This is going very well. So I've got a few questions here. At the end, I'd like to do a few questions based around getting slightly more philosophical as we go along.
Mm-hmm.
So just the very first one. What are your plans for the future?
So my plans for the future is that for 2018, depending on when you're listening to this, of course, but I've been away for a lot in 2018, working on something in the background and...
always working, this guy, always working. And,
you know, within the next few months, hopefully something could come of that. And that's maybe, if not, something can help, that'll help my personal brand, because it's going to be on a platform whereby a lot of people will be exposed to.
Okay.
So hopefully something can come across that on my personal brand. I can help to build my personal brand, perhaps monetize and etc. So that's within myself.
Okay.
But I think the main thing now for me in the future, other than me and my personal brand, is to almost plant my flag somewhere different now in terms of business and entrepreneurism. I'm no longer doing events or houses anymore. And so I want to plant my flag somewhere different, but it's going to be riding on what's going to be happening over the next few months. You might be pleasantly surprised maybe, but yeah, because at the same time, it's like me being speaking, sometimes I feel like I've done it the wrong way round.
Okay, and what? How do you mean exactly?
In a sense that, I mean, a lot of people now, they go out and say, I want to be a motivational speaker. But what have you done to really justify
being a motivational?
And I don't like
be motivational.
Yeah, and I don't like that term, I'm a motivational speaker, because I now say I'm a professional speaker. Professional speaking, professional meaning you get paid. Speaking is what you do. So I'm a professional speaker. I get paid to speak. Because the motivational part is subjective. You can decide I'm motivational. I can go to an old people's home with 88-year-olds. I'm sorry, 88-year-olds. You might not think it's very subjective to the audience you're in. So that is too subjective.
Okay,
so it's like, but the reason why I say that I feel like I might have done it the wrong way round is in the sense that it's easier for you to just go out there and smash it in life in whatever capacity you're doing. Business, entrepreneurism, being a doctor, being whatever it is you are, anything. And then people will be coming to you.
Yeah. So you have to establish yourself as something, and then the people who are in that realm that you've mastered,
then will be after you.
That makes sense.
Whereas, not to say I've completely done it the wrong way around, because I was successful in academically and at university, hence why I get approached from an educational standpoint. But if you're just setting out to become a motivational speaker, that's you now. You're having to chase work and say, I'm motivational, but no one knows who you are. It's easy for you to just blow and then speaking to do after that.
Yeah.
You know, smash it in whatever capacity you're in first, and then let people say, you know, I want to book you to come speak to my audience. Instead of saying that, you know, I'm a motivational speaker, you know, book me. If that kind of makes sense. So
I know what you're saying, because both Les Brown and Eric Thomas, they both had lives before they were motivational speakers. Like Les Brown, for example, he said he was setting up a business. So there he goes. He's getting in entrepreneurs and people like that. Eric Thomas, what was Eric Thomas's backstory?
Well, his was that, you know, he was homeless for a large period of his life. It took him 12 years to get his GED, or equivalent of our GCSE, if you want to look at it that way. And I guess for him, he was. Well, I guess he naturally has a skill. I guess he was motivating the youth groups in, I think it was Michigan State University. So I guess he was doing that, but he got so good from that video blowing up where people approach him.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if you're a speaker and you're having to chase that, you're not maybe as good as you think you are.
Okay.
And I'm quite not cocky with it, but I'm like, if I'm delivering a service in my own brand, like, I'm fucking Kayode Damali. Do you know what I mean? It's I don't want to have to chase you for me to speak. Like, you got to be coming to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I want to blow in my own capacity first, and then people approach me. That's why now, in terms of my speaking, after that, I'm revamping my website now. I don't really want to be doing calls to get bookings. Like, I don't really want to be doing that. You know what I mean? It's like, I should be so sick whereby you should be coming after me.
Yeah.
So instead of me spending time calling, I want to set up a business, let it blow, and then, does that kind of make sense?
And then sort of like you're making yourself into a magnet by experience.
Yeah, I think that's, I think it's better doing it that way rather than setting out to be a speaker. I mean, but of course, the speaker is a massive term. If you're a host for an event or etc., then of course that's different. You've got to kind of put yourself out there, or if you're an MC, for example, you know, MC in an event. I think speaking is a very, very broad term, depending on what type of speaker you want to be. But generically, especially what people want to be doing in terms of motivational speaking, don't do it the wrong way around. Blow first, and then let the speaker follow you after.
Listen up, people. Listen up. This guy knows what he's talking about, I'm telling you. Question number 2. What would you tell the 20-year-old version of yourself?
The 20-year-old version?
20-year-old version.
Okay, so...
Advice or anything that you want to tell him?
The 20-year-old me would have been in his second year of uni, going into his third.
Yeah.
And I think that Kayode was a good Kayode, man. To be fair, like, that Kayode was cool. Like, that Kayode came through a hard time and was really finding his feet. So I think all I'll say to that Kayode is that keep going. I think just keep going. Word to my brethren, Chris Reed, just keep going. That 20-year-old Kayode was good, man. Of course, he never knew about business and entrepreneurism at the time, so maybe I was telling him to maybe explore options. But at the same time, that Kayode did sick. He did sick in what he was doing. Do you know what I'm saying? He was getting to be the man at uni. He was doing well. Honestly, to those people listening, I can't stress enough how much this guy has done at uni. We've already listed off a few things. That doesn't even cover it nearly. Okay, this guy, if you want to be someone who says that message to their 20-year-old self, keep going, then be productive, be active, keep doing things. I think the 60-year-old Kayode, now, me and him, we need to sit down and have words. Like, he was... What would you say? He must pop up. Like, he must pop up in jail. You know what I'm saying? He must pop up in jail on 2 occasions. That 60-year-old Kayode was lucky that when we went to court for that charge, like, that Kayode, me and him would have to have words. But 20-year-old Kayode, he had it on smash. You got it together. Good shit, man. Number 4. What brings you the most joy in life? Ooh. What brings me the most joy? It can be one thing, it could be a couple of things. That's a hard one, you know. I think from a relationship standpoint, there's nothing better for me being with someone who we like each other on the same level. Yeah, for me, there's nothing better than being in a bed with not in a bad way, but being in a bed with a girl who are comfortable with. Do you know what I'm saying? Something to wake up to. Yeah, I think like that's for me. Like, you can't beat that. Like, generally, you can't beat that. Like, honestly, that is like, for anyone who's sort of like, just doing a little smash and run job. Do you know what I mean, at uni or anywhere else in life? I'm telling you, it's a different feeling. Have you had a girl? I'm still, way back when, yeah. I'm still the same girl. Oh, really? Yeah. So there you go, man. Almost 5 years, you know what I mean? So, there's nothing better than that, man. Honestly, nothing better than that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, do you know what I mean? It's one of them. Cracking answer, man. So, this would be very interesting to hear your reply to this. Since you've been such an active person, why do people fail to follow their dreams? So why do people fail? I mean, I don't necessarily want to answer this question in the standpoint whereby I'm not one of those people who have failed in their dreams. Because I could argue that growing up that I have. Because I wanted to be a professional footballer. That was my main thing growing up. I have to say I failed at that, evidently. So I don't want anyone listening to this to think, Kayode's answering this viewpoint in the sense that he has followed his dream. Because I have not. Like, we're on the same. Anyone who's listening to this right now, we're on the same team, we're on the same bench together. Do you know what I'm saying? We both got our shin pads on, we're about to go on a pitch together. Like, I'm not necessarily saying this answer in the terms of I have made it. Yeah. So I'm saying this answer in the terms of I've also failed and I'm trying to figure out how to get to my dream. So I think, so to answer the question, why do most people fail in their dreams, I'm looking at it in the sense of why have I not yet done that? And I think that as individuals, we have our own individual struggles. And I know I definitely have mine. I have my own individual struggles as to the reason why I haven't been successful in the avenue that I wanted to be in. So I think that it's all down, I think each individual has their own individual struggles in which they need to accomplish. And that's my kind of philosophy in life. I think that everybody has their own sort of, I think it's not, I don't want to say the term dharma, but I think every individual has their own sort of struggles they need to overcome. And once you do overcome those struggles, I think that you will be more abundant to the opportunities around you. Yeah. Jesus, what an answer. Brilliant answer. And now, the final thing. No, don't be the final. I'm having fun here, man. I can keep going, man. The very final thing. We'll have to do it, get you up on season 2 as well. Part 2. We'll have to do it, man. I know people are going to be asking for it. So, the final question. Assuming that we don't know who's listening, what would be your final message to the listeners? My final message to people listening is that, firstly, shouts out to you if you listen to the whole thing. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to what Kayode has to say.
So do I.
You know what I mean? I know that. I appreciate the fact that, I speak fast. So if you've been able to keep up with my pace, I do appreciate that also.
Yeah.
But I think my main thing I want to say is that don't take anything you've heard in my podcast and what you listen to me say as gospel. Don't necessarily take it as the truth. That's simply my truth. It's simply me. Same likewise when you hear anyone else. Don't necessarily listen to their advice and think that is the be all and end all. I have to do that because that's only their truth. Because I've in the past listened to people, whether it's on a podcast, etc., and taken the advice and think, that is it. And I sabotage myself in the process. So I'll say to my final message to listeners is to take what I've said and take any advice you hear in life, take that with a pinch of salt, take it, and then decide what you want to do with it. Don't necessarily think it's the truth. That could be their truth. Apply it to your own life and then see where that will take you.
Well, there you go. That was Kayode Damali for Alex and the Message. If you did like this, please drop a like. If you want to hear more things like this, we're definitely going to have Kayode back on in probably a few months' time. Subscribe and comment. Thank you very much for staying with us, as Kayode said. We're out.
You have been listening to Alex and the Message. If you stayed to the end, please drop a like, leave a comment and subscribe for weekly uploads. For regular updates, you can also follow me on social media. Firstly on Twitter as AATM and also on Instagram as AlexAndTheMessage. Thanks for listening and have a great day.